to the regularly scheduled September 28th, 2021 Fort Clinton City Council meeting in the Linda Hartloff Council Chambers. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, the Lord's Prayer, and a moment of silence for those serving and protecting our country.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Jay Vila.
Here.
Matt Hovis.
Here.
Beth Gilman. Here. Roseanne Hickman.
Excused.
Lisa Slobodian.
Excused.
Margaret Phillips.
Here.
Jerry Schroly.
Excused. Council, you previously received the September 14th, 2021 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam President, I move to accept approval of the minutes for the 14th of September.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Gilman. I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Ms. Gilman, to accept the September 14, 2021 meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. The chair notes that certification has been made regarding compliance with the rules and notifications of this meeting. We have no guest presentations, no public comments, executive officers' reports. Council, on the agenda this evening is ordinance 26-21. It can go to 3 full reads according to administration and does not need to be assigned to a committee at this point. I believe you received that email also. And then also under correspondence, they have, we have the Fort Clinton City Planning Commission text amendment to the Fort Clinton ordinances listed, and if council so chooses to approve those this evening, there needs to be a public hearing. It has to be published for 30 days is my understanding, and I will announce that date at the end of the meetings. And that's all I have this evening. The mayor's not here, but I think Mr. Colston is.
Of course I do. Council, at this very moment, I'm saying goodbye to yet another one of my summer J1 visa employees. This is third of 6 tearful farewell moments in the past few days. As I look around town, I hope you are as excited as I am to see such a tremendous amount of positive activity. It's official, we are a city. The 2020 census numbers confirmed our population is 6,025. We received a proclamation from the state. I was thinking it was 6,000, but it says 5,000 on the letter that I received. So anything over 5,000 would be a city the way, and I showed Mr. Hatfield that today. So there is a proclamation. We'll end up getting it framed, I'm sure, and putting it up. Cemetery cleanup will begin October 1st. Please remove all your items from the gravesite, so that's this weekend. Permitted items may be returned October 7th. October 16th will be the citywide cleanup in the City Hall parking lot from 8 to 3, city residents only. City crews will be on site to help load items into dumpsters, but due to COVID limitations, they will not be available to remove items from vehicles or trailers. I'm going to throw mine in here too. I have worked with Mrs. Gilman. We are going to have a dumpster out at Erie Gardens on October 14th. And Mr. Horn has talked to us about he will have a group of people. We will take a loader around like we do here, and they can throw it in a loader. We'll dump it in a dumpster. It will be removed on Friday. That will be part of the number that we use out here, so there'll be no charge for that to be out there. I've gone, well, so I'll get into that in a minute. We've gone around and looked at some of the houses out there, and we're doing some work with that. Reminder that on October 12th, Hogemeyer will be here to review with council the funding sources for the citywide infrastructure project. On October 14th, those same individuals will co-host a public meeting at the Port Clinton High School PAC on the same topic. This meeting will follow current CDC indoor public gathering requirements. The Portage River Walkway is progressing. We had a progress meeting this morning. It's had to make some adjustments to it because of the buried materials and the wood along the shoreline. Right now, they've got to a point where they're past that, so hopefully there won't be any more as we go forward. Brush cleanup, 2 recent storms extended this month's brush cleanup. We have limited crews assigned to it, but we are still going out picking up brush from the storm damage. And remember, next month will be the last, I believe that's the 12th, if I'm not mistaken, will be the start of the last brush pickup for the year. Moby mats at the city beach were picked up. We removed them before the last storm, and we're not going to put them back on, obviously. Reminder, city elected officials and department RSVP by October 19th. To Miss Sandy, if you plan on attending the disability awareness training offered by the Ability Center, the event will be held at a la carte after hours at noon on October 21st. Mom, at the moment the crowdsourced funding for entertainment is exhausted. However, there have been individual business and a few civic organizations that made a request to keep Mom open for slightly longer. We're taking down the stage the week of October 11th with complete reopening to the vehicles to October 18th. There's a domestic violence happening on October 16th. I think domestic violence.
Event.
What did I say?
Just domestic violence.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting my speech.
I appreciate the heads up.
Yeah, no, so that is, they had asked because that's where they're having a scavenger hunt going to finish up down there. Leaf pickup, we've talked about this before. When sufficient quantities are down, we will start the leaf pickup. When possible, please take a moment to remove fallen leaves from storm catch basins. This will aid in prevention of street flooding during rain events. The Special Improvement District, SID, Main Street has been working with the downtown business building owners for several years to create the self-imposed taxing district called a SID. Funds generated from a SID will be utilized to make further improvements to the downtown area. These funds will come from building owners in the designated area through property tax assessment that will be managed by a board comprised from this same group, much like the creation of Main Street and Mora. The city's role in activity will be merely to permit the creation of the SID through legislation. Main Street has provided Ms. Schenker with required documentation. Our law director will soon have legislation available for you to review and action. And now we're to the blight that I think Mrs. Gilman and I and some others have been involved with. But last week, my administration set in place the foundation for a targeted task force to focus on this issue. The group has been asked to explore all aspects of unwanted conditions. Topics under consideration include social service available to those that choose to address the issue themselves. For those that choose to forgo assistance or merely neglect to address the issue on their own, the focus will be on what targeted tools are available to remedy the issue. Processes for addressing weeds and high grass and grass holes, junk cars, curbside furniture, and appliance disposal, junk notice, building maintenance are all being reviewed. Once this review is complete, it is anticipated a comprehensive package will be offered to City Council. This package may include a request to modify any existing legislation or explore new legislation. Zoning changes that Mrs. Sardi brought up, with the assistance of Mark Mesa from Ottawa County Regional Planning, City's Planning Commission has been reviewing current zoning legislation. Notice of their recommendation have been submitted to you by tonight's correspondence. If this correspondence is accepted, 30 days, as Mrs. Sardi stated, Mr. Mesa will be in attendance to help facilitate at that meeting. Ms. Schenker can answer any specific questions you have. And that is his report tonight.
Any questions for the
Sandy, you want that?
Mr. Beal?
The reference blight task force, who are those numbers?
We had a breakfast, basically. It was myself, Mayor Snyder, Kent Johnson, and the police chief. So that was the four that just started talking about it. I have had conversations out with Mrs. Gilman, with Mr. Horn, I think we can say that, and went around and looked at some of the properties. She compiled a list that got this started, I think, and moving forward, and we've already had some issues that have been taken care of because of that. So,
Thank you. Can I ask another question? Sure. He referenced the crowdsource funding has been exhausted for mom. Do you have an idea of what that dollar amount was?
no, but it had to be somewhere in the $75,000 to $80,000 because of, I know what the entertainment pretty much costs per weekend. So, you know, in the beginning, certain percentages were paid by motels, certain percentage by bars and restaurants, and some of the retail establishments. So I know it was down to the wire, and I know they just made it under the wire. That I can say.
So is it Main Street that was collecting those funds? And
Correct.
determining the amount due, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, they sent out the bills to everybody from what was pledged in the beginning of the whole
Are you
conversation.
aware of any complaints about that from business owners that didn't want to participate?
Yes, I have had some complaints, and we've addressed some of those, and there's still some areas that need to be addressed, Mr. Beal.
What does 2022 look like on that block of Madison Street?
2022, I think will look pretty much the same. I think that we will have some contracts for these people, so that per what you asked about, if people didn't pay or what recourses we have to be able to collect that money that was promised to those events. And so we're going to sit down with probably Mayor Snyder, myself, and Nicole, obviously from the chamber, and have some discussion. And then we will get some of the businesses in to see what did you like, what could be better. You know, for example, I've had one business owner say, could we move mom's time to 7 to 10 instead of the 8 to 11? Those are the kind of things we will start to look at. Is Sunday afternoons good, or is it better just to go on Thursdays and not do Sunday afternoons? Things like that will be in the discussion topic, and how to divide it out, and if they thought the division of money was appropriate for what we were doing. So I thought it was great. The crowd down there was tremendous. Heard very little complaints. Lots of trash, but most of the trash was in trash cans per my guys. A couple of the huge weekends, people just left a pizza box or left more cups or something on tables. But besides that, there was not a lot of problems. We had one damage situation that the police were involved with. That was after hours at 2 o'clock in the morning. It had nothing to do with mom. But the speaker systems will be going back this week, so that's why it's starting to shut down. Some people have talked about a DJ on a Saturday night or something. They'll use their own speaker system for the rest of this year. And then, like I said, the domestic violence awareness will be up there on the 16th.
Thank you.
Did that answer it, I hope?
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Seeing none, we'll move auditor's report.
Tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Madam Chairman, month-to-date revenue on bed tax is $55,259.
No. It's the highlighted.
I can't do the month.
Oh, the month, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Could
you say that again, please?
Month-to-date bed tax, $55,259.65. Dock tax this month, $25. Year-to-date bed tax, this is a nice big number, $215,270.30. Dock tax year-to-date, $28,637.96. Thank you.
Thank you. Law director's not with us this evening. Mr. Colston, do you have anything additional?
I think I spoke enough. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay. Thank you. You committee chairs here. Mr. Velo, finance.
Nothing and nothing, Madam President.
Thank you. That'd be for your economic and community development also. Ms. Phillips, safety services.
Nothing.
Thank you. Mrs. Gilman, arts and culture.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Under correspondence, Port Clinton Planning Commission text amendment to the Port Clinton ordinances letter. Month-end reports from the auditor ending August 31st, 2021. The Port Clinton Architectural Review Board, September 9, 2021 minutes. And the Port Clinton Planning Commission, September 9, 2021 minutes. Does council wish to take any action as to the correspondence this evening?
Madam President,
Mr. Vito?
I move to accept the September 21st letter from the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Any further discussion? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Velo, seconded by Ms. Phillips to accept the Port Clinton Planning Commission letter of September 21st. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Does council wish to take any further action as to the correspondence?
Madam President,
Mr. Velo?
I move to approve the correspondence as stated.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Mrs. Gilman? Yeah. Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Velo, seconded by Mrs. Gilman to accept the correspondence as stated. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Motion carries. This evening we have no third readings of ordinances. We move on to second reading. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 24-21?
Ordinance number 24-21, an ordinance amending ordinance number 4-21 of the City of Port Clinton and adjusting accounts within the City of Port Clinton.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 24-21? Seeing none, ordinance 24-21 will be moved to its third reading on October 12th, 2021. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, resolution 21-9?
Resolution 21-9, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to resolution 21-9 this evening? Seeing none, resolution 21-9 will be moved to its second reading on October 12th, 2021. I'm sorry, third reading. Yes, resolution to third reading. And also ordinance 24-21 will be moved to its third reading. We're going to move on to the first readings. So the clerk, please read by title and summary only ordinance 26-21.
Ordinance number 26-21, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to enter into an LPA federal local-led project agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation, a memorandum of understanding, an agreement addressing the responsibilities of the parties, and a grant co-administration agreement between the City of Port Clinton and Clinton Bay Gold Line Company and Ohio Corporation operating under the trade name of Jet Express and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 26-21 this evening? Seeing none, ordinance 26-21 will be moved to its second reading on October 12th, 2021. Okay, we'll move on to business from the floor. As council approved and accepted the Planning Commission letter, the public hearing for that related to the ordinance and the updating of the zoning will be November 9th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. here in City Hall in the chambers. And if the clerk will please do the proper posting and everything, I would appreciate that. Thank you. Move on, Mrs. Gilman. Anything this evening?
I just want to thank Mr. Colson for his time and all his work the last, every time I've contacted him, and he's put a lot of effort into
Well,
this, so much appreciated. Thank you, Teresa.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it.
Thank you. Mrs. Owen?
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Ms. Phillips?
Thank you, Madam President. Last weekend, we had also noticed that it was a ride. I'm waiting for the next one.
In 5 years.
I'll be around.
Thank you.
That's all, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Delo, anything?
Nope.
Thank you. Seeing no further business, I want to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, I move this August body adjourn.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Hovis. I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Ms. Hovis to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.